Hey everyone, welcome to a commercial for Cabin Crafts. A lot of times I get new things and I put them on the internet and I show a picture or whatever and tell you this is a new item. And I know many of you are anxiously awaiting the two cookbooks that I usually keep stocked. They are still back ordered. So I went online and was trying to find, there's a wholesale place that I can get things from, and I was looking for more historical cookbooks, and I found this one. And this is going to show up backwards, but this is Old Sturbridge Village's cookbook, and this is very cool because what's cool about it is, let me find a good recipe here. Well, first of all, in the book, there's some history. This one's on hearth cookery. There's history stuff in here, and then I'm going to get to the recipes. So here's your recipes, common cooking. But what's neat about the recipes is you have, for instance, this says meat pie. Okay, this is a meat pie, and it has the historical recipe, and it gives the provenance. So this meat pie recipe was from the American Frugal Housewife, 1832, and then it gives you the modern method and even a hearth method if you want to use a Dutch oven. And then over here you have all of your ingredients. So I was really tickled whenever I got this book. Now I've been to here's even one, puddings. And puddings in early America are like what kind of the puddings that the British eat today. They were usually a boiled pudding put in a bag and boiled in water. There's Indian pudding, which is used with cornmeal and molasses. I love Indian pudding. This would be a good one. This would be a good one for Thanksgiving Day, for us to celebrate Thanksgiving Day. And then it'll tell you, like, a note on sugar. The recipes in the American Frugal Housewife were written for a time in which granulated white sugar was not in everyday use. Commonly, everyday family dishes were often made using brown sugar or molasses. So, Old Sturbridge Village, I don't know if you can see the pictures on here, but it's one of the world's largest, well, one of America's largest living history museum villages. I mean, the whole village is intact, and they're doing all sorts of crafts and traditional things that they did back then. And so I've always wanted to go. I've known about it for years and years. And about 2 or 3 years ago, when my son was living in Vermont, we were only a couple of hours from Sturbridge, Massachusetts. And so I said, when we went up there, and it was in the fall, oh, it was so awesome. And I said, I want to go visit Sturbridge while I'm this close. And so we did, and I was not disappointed. So the recipes in here are basically from early 1800, maybe some even, let's see, what does it say? I think it said from the 18th century up to 1830s, because Sturbridge, their time period that they do is 1830s. But the recipes can be late 18th century up to the 1830s. And so when I was talking about the coverlets in the last video, the American Industrial Revolution begins in the 1840s. So in 1830s, they were still doing everything by hand, pretty much. A few innovations were coming in. But anyway, this will be on the website. It is $24.95. It's a very nice, it is paperback, but the recipes in here are awesome. And I'm going to keep one for myself. There's even recipes using herbs, whichever way you say it. It's just a really cool book, and I'm so glad I found it. And you know, this might kind of hold us until we can get those other books in. Another new book I wanted to tell you about was, I got, like, to go with our other little patriotic books, this is a book about the Star-Spangled Banner. This is a handbook of history and etiquette, and it tells all the history about Francis Scott Key writing the Star-Spangled Banner, which is a very moving story if you don't know. And I would suggest, these make great, this one's $12.95. These make great little gifts to put in a Christmas stocking or whatever. I've also restocked George Washington's Rules of Civility. We all need to read that. Even me, because sometimes I can be uncivil. This one is a new one, and I just adore it. I just read this one, and I know all of these titles appear backwards, but this is Martha Washington, A Short Biography. And I love George Washington. Everybody knows I love George Washington. He's like my hero on earth, my earthly hero. But he wouldn't have been as great as he is, I don't think, without Martha. And this is a lovely little short book. This will take you probably, depends on how fast you read. I'm a fast reader. I think I read the whole thing in a half an hour to 45 minutes. But I love the quote in here that she has. And let me see if I can find it real quick. Maybe it's in the beginning. Oh, come on. I should have marked it ahead of time. Well, anyway, she talks about happiness. It's a quote. About happiness, and it's very famous, and I really wish I could find it. I should have marked it first so that I could have read it to you right off the bat, and I can't find it. But anyway, she's like, happiness is a choice. She lost all 4 of her natural-born children that she had with her first husband. She lost all 4 of them. And her and George were actually able to raise their grandchildren. But she basically said, happiness is a choice. We can choose to be happy or not. And she said, I choose to be happy. And I'm like, what a strong woman. I love that little book. Another new one is What to Draw and How to Draw It. Now, this is from the 1920s. So this little book comes from the place where I get the cookbooks and my other historical books. So, like, here are the directions to draw a parakeet. These are so sweet. Here's a little pug dog. Isn't that cute? So kids, here's a goose, or it says it's, a duck and a goose. Here's a duck and a goose. Isn't that cute? It says this is an ideal gift for children. Like I said, this was written and done in the 1920s. So it's 100 years old. Look at the pig. I mean, some of these are very detailed. Even an adult might like them. Then the next book I have is for Christmas. This is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. This is in its original format. So you can see the illustrations inside. Very old-timey. And Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was written by an employee of the Montgomery Ward Catalog Company, and it was written for Montgomery Ward. And it went on to, of course, great success. And so Rudolph made this fellow, he said, enough money to send his 6 children to college. I think that's so cool. So I have the original version of Rudolph. It is nothing like the claymation cartoon we watched as kids. This is the original version. It is so cute. And then, last but not least, I wanted to show my 2 favorite magazines. So the reason why I had a store like this in the first place is because I like to decorate like this. And so my go-to magazine has always been Early American Life, and my artwork is in their directory of traditional American craftsmen. But this magazine is no fluff. There's no silly advertisements in here. It is all about antiques, furniture, home decor, places to visit, early American recipes, crafts. Look at this cool log cabin and that floor cloth. So then here's my second favorite magazine. This one's called A Primitive Place. And this one is all about home decor. And this is, I think, my latest issue. No, this is fall 2021. But again, this is all... Look at that table runner. Recognize that? That's one of those figural coverlets, a piece of one that someone made into a table runner. So this is all about how to decorate. If you like this style of decorating, a lot of these people just have ranch homes. But the inside, you see, I live in a 1987 ranch, but the inside is decorated like early American. This isn't a real log cabin. They put boards up and some chinking and made it look like a log wall. Isn't that cool? So both of these magazines are my go-to magazines for how to decorate in colonial primitive style, and that's why I started my store in the first place, and I will continue my online store. So the little books that I showed before, I don't have the magazines, but the little books that I showed before, the cookbook, the drawing book, Martha Washington, Rules of Civility, the Star-Spangled Banner, and of course Rudolph. Those are all on the website right now, and that's www.scoppe.com. So don't feel pressured to buy. I just thought I would show you what the inside of some of these cool books look like. So thank you everybody for watching, and I'm going to try and get a craft video up real soon too. So thank you very much, and goodbye.